guys, I'm Nadia and today I'm gonna talk about my unfinished book series. Series that I've started, read a couple of books, maybe just one, but have never finished. I started counting before I made this video and I turned out with a huge number. I had no idea I had started that many series. I have started 28 book series that I haven't finished yet. Oh god, this is a huge number. I thought it was gonna be like 10 or something, but it's 28. It's crazy. So I actually started categorizing all those books into 3 categories. In the first one there are series that I'm probably never gonna finish. In the second one are series that I don't know if I wanna finish or not. And in the third one are series that I definitely wanna finish. So, let's start. So I'm gonna start with a series that I don't think I ever wanna finish. The first book is Chrestomanci by Diana Wynne Jones. I read the first book, which is Charmed Life, and didn't like it, and for some reason I got the second book, The Magicians of Caprona, and I also didn't like this one, so that's where I stopped with the series, and I don't think I'm ever gonna be picking it up again. The second series is Pongwifi by Kay Umansky. I actually really loved the series when I was a child, and I read like 3 or 4 books, but now I've gotten too old to read those books, so I'm never gonna finish with this series either. Then I have the Fallen series by Lauren Kate. I read the first book and didn't really like it, and then I also got the second book and I didn't even finish with that one, and I don't think I'm gonna continue with this series. It was just not for me. Next is Gossip Girl by Cecily von Ziegesar. I read the first book in this one, and yeah, it was okay. I also watched a little bit of the series, but I'm not gonna continue with the books. I may continue with the series though. Next is The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. Ha! Yeah, I must be one of the very few people that didn't like this book, but yeah, I didn't like it and I'm not gonna continue with the series. Next I have Historic Materials by Philip Pullman. I read the first book, The Golden Compass, and yeah, it was mediocre. And that was also a long time ago, so I don't think I'm gonna start up with this series again. Then is the Septimus Hip trilogy by Ansi Sage. I read the first book, which is Magic, and that was such a long time ago, I don't really remember what was happening. I remember I didn't like it that much, but I would have to read the first book again, and I don't think I'm up for this. Next I have the Arthur trilogy by Kevin CROSSLEY Holland. I read the first book, The Seeing Stone, and the second book, At the Crossing Places, and they were not too bad, but that was again a long time ago, and if I want to read the third book, I would have to reread the first 2 books, and again, I don't think I'm gonna do this. And last one in this category, I have the Girls series by Jacqueline Wilson. I read the first and the third book, and now I'm again a bit too old to continue with this series, and it wasn't that good anyway. So on to the next category of series that I don't know if I want to continue with. The first book here is the Missing Link series by Kate Thompson. I read the first book, The Fourth World, and I remember really liking it, but that was 10 years ago. So I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy this book now. Have any of you read it? Is it any good? I don't know anymore. Then I have The Eight by Catherine Neville. This is actually a duology, and I read the first book, The Eight, which was really good, and I then started the second book, which was Fire, and I was not getting so much into it, so I put it down, and now I don't know if I want to pick it up again. Then there's the Bartimaeus trilogy by Jonathan Stroud. I read the first book, The Amulet of Samarkand, and I remember liking it, but for some reason I didn't continue with the series, and I don't know that reason anymore. So I have no idea if it's worth it getting into this series again or not, so let me know if you have any suggestions. Next is Charmed. These books are based on the TV show called Charmed, which is my favorite TV show of all time. And I've read 3 books from the series, but they have in total 41 books, and I'm never gonna read all of them. But I've heard that some of the books are good and some are not really good, so now I don't know which ones to pick. Then there's the T-Rose series by Jennifer Donnelly. I read the first 2 books and they were actually pretty good, but now I don't remember what happened in these 2 books, so if I want to read the third one, I would have to read the first 2 again, and I am not sure if it was that good of a series, if it's worth it or not. The Aragon series by Christopher Paolini. I started the first book, Aragon, and wasn't really getting into it, but I was reading that one in German, so it might have been because of that I didn't like it, because my German is not that good, but it also might have been because of the story. So now I don't know if I should try reading the series again or not. And last in this category is The Shade of Vampire by Bella Forrest. I have read the first book again here, and it was not too good, but not too bad either, so Now I don't know if I'm gonna continue reading this series. And now let's move on to the series that I really want to finish. First I have Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. I've only read the first book, Anna and the French Kiss, and I have to get the second book, Lola and the Boy Next Door, and then wait for Ella and the Happily Ever After to come out so I can finish with the series. Next is the Robert Langton series. I've read The Da Vinci Code and The Lost Symbols, so now I need to read Angels and Demons and Inferno to finish with the series, and I think I'm gonna do that next summer. Next is the Mara Dyer series by Michelle Hodkin. I read The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer this year and I loved it, but the third book hasn't been published yet, so I think I'm gonna wait until the third is also published and then read the second and the third together. Reboot by Amy Tintera. Also read this one this year and loved it, and the second one, Rebel, is coming out I think spring 2014, so I can't wait for that one. The House of Night series by PC and Christine Cass. I've read a bunch of those books, I think 9, but now I'm waiting for the last one to come out so I can read the rest of them together, because I keep forgetting what has happened, so I cannot read one book at a time. The Princess Diaries by Meg Cabot. I cannot believe I have not finished this series yet. It was one of my favorite series in high school, and I was reading them in Greek, and then at some point after book 3 or 4 they stopped translating them to Greek, so now I can also read in English, and I really need to get those books. Divergent by Veronica Roth. I've read Divergent and Insurgent, and I'm still waiting for Allegiant to come out this month so I can read it and finally finish with the series. Penryn and the End of Days by Susan E. I've read the first book, Angel Fall, and I think the second book is coming out in November 2013, so I cannot wait for this one. Next is The Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare. I've only read the first book, I really need to get on the series. Next is the Elements trilogy by Melissa Pearl. I've read the first book, Unknown, and at that time I didn't really love it, but now I'm really excited to read the rest of the series, only the books are really hard to find, so I'm hoping I can find them. Then I have the Water Song series by Amanda Hucking. I've only read the first book, Wake, and I really like this, so I would like to continue with the series soon. And last I have the Ugly series by Scott Westerfeld. I've read Uglies, Pretties, and Specials, and I'm now reading Extras, so I'm gonna finish with this series soon at least. These were all my 28 unfinished series. Let me know in the comments how many unfinished series you have, especially if you have a lot, so I won't feel so bad about myself. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to comment and subscribe. I will see you next time. Bye!